Hello, sweet darlings. All right. So, late night with Jen. We did our funny haha, and that's great. And then we get down to business again, and we start to discuss what needs to happen. Now, as far as the round table and what happens today, and after speaking to them, this is what we're going to do. We're going to pause on universal laws and understanding them. We only started with 7. Can you imagine if we got into 88 or above? Watch my nose start itching. Yeah. A King of Cups and I have that in common too. Spirit starts working with us. We have agreed to pause on studying the laws, the universal laws, and in spirituality. And we were just starting with the 7. And after a long discussion, I will just simply say this. We need to understand what is happening amongst us individually, and then as a collective. Individually, we are all growing. How many times have we said this? Growing at our own pace. We are at different levels. We can start discussing something, and someone will back off and go, whoa, way too much. Or maybe someone's way more advanced than us, and they're like, okay, you guys are putting me to sleep. It's not a negativity. Don't take it as an insult. Everyone is at their own pace, okay? That's what I want to make the point. We have agreed to pause on universal laws, okay? It's not because someone couldn't handle it. It's not because someone doesn't understand. But I will say this. How we perceive our education process and dealing with this is an own individual basis. We may not agree. We may agree to disagree. It's always a loving debate on how we do these talks with the round table. Now, what happened today, you don't need to know what happened. It was not because someone got angry with someone and they totally disagreed. It was just a spiritual experience. That's all you need to know. We just need to agree to let it go for now and agree to go into a different direction to make sure everyone is comfortable and they're on their right path. Which you're your only decider of your path. You are in control of your path. You do you, boo. You've got to take care of you, okay? Now, I know that sounds confusing, and you may have 1,000 questions, or maybe you're just like, whatever. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just understand that we've agreed as a roundtable collective to not continue this subject for now. Now, it has been suggested, and we have agreed on that maybe the next show we should focus more on understanding the chakras and our energy levels and how we're supposed to deal with stuff. Maybe we should have started there. It was my spirits that suggested the universal laws. During meditation, you've got to do this subject. And I went, okay. I asked, they said, okay. But you don't know what you're getting into until you walk into it. That's no one's fault. No one should point fingers. No one should feel guilty because it didn't sit right with them. If it doesn't sit right with you, Do not follow it. We started out with a disclaimer. If it does not set right with you, walk away. Use your own discernment. If it doesn't feel right, it's okay. There is one thing that I want to bring up tonight, and that means understanding universal laws it gets very personal. And when you can't resonate with something, it's very hard to study. I can't get on board with it. I just can't. It doesn't make sense. It's not humanistic to me. There is something missing. Does that make sense? There is something missing. Something has been cut out of it. And after speaking with them this evening, I get the fact that it seems very boxed in. The universal laws that we were studying today seem very boxed in. If they're universal laws created under our Creator, who you cannot put in a box in any way, shape, or form, it seems very foreign. How do you box in this mentality? You have to follow these laws. It's if there's no emotion, there's no love, there's no compassion, there's no empathy, these are just raw, real instructions, okay? It's like a manual, like you have to do this. Well, we tend to, as humans, follow orders, but we also tend to, as humans, think outside the box because we're so much greater than that. And we know that there's so much more to the story. So, asking the question, are these universal laws written in modern day man terms? That means man took over the terminology of what... We're not saying that universal laws don't exist. We're just saying, were they rewritten to keep us in a box, to keep us under control? I agree with that. I agree. I guess I'm just a little bit more liberal, thinking outside the box. I let it go. I let the boundaries go. I scratch out the South Pole. Yeah, I said it. I just say, I think you should make it your own. You're in your own world. You are divinely created with your divine. I think you should make it your own. But as a collective, I think we should have it under the understanding that maybe it was one of those things that was manipulated. And if it doesn't sit right with someone, I wholeheartedly respect that. And I will back off. That's just mutual respect for my brothers and sisters. So let's take a step back. And we won't look at that. But it has been suggested that maybe we should study the chakras. Now keep in mind, here's a fair warning. This also has been manipulated and concentrated into a box, depending upon who the great master is, who the shaman leader is, whatever you want to call them. Everybody has their own interpretation. I think we need to remember that. Anything we do in life has its own interpretation. What feels right to you should stay there. And it should be one with the Creator, because that's who you are. You should never let anyone else outside of the perimeter of your zone with the Creator ever manipulate you or convince you that it only has to be this way and this way only. That's not what we're saying. That's why we always try to put up a disclaimer. What we're about to say, take it for a grain of salt. It is what you make it, and if it doesn't sit right, then you go outside the box. You think for you. You have your own free will. Universal law is not meant to keep you trapped. Universal law should be ever flowing, as the universal laws explain that they are. It should be ever flowing with you and your creator. If I'm talking in circles, I don't mean to. It's just very hard to find words to explain it. At the end of the day, we've agreed to back off of the universal laws until we get a greater understanding of who we are and what we're supposed to do within. Now, it has been suggested that we study the chakras. We are going to touch base on that, but that also is open to interpretation. Anything that we talk about is open to interpretation. If it hits you and rubs you the wrong way, sweet darling, walk away, or at least take a step back and go, you know what? Okay, I kind of get it, or maybe I don't get it. I'm going to do me. Then you do you. Don't ever feel pressured that you have to listen to someone else, especially us. You don't have to do that. We're voicing our own opinion. These are roundtables/debate. We are debating what is real, what doesn't sit right, what does sit right. Is this really true? Honey, sweet darling, precious, listen. Everything that has been handed to us, we know that 99.9% of it has been a lie to control us. Now, when we start branching out and thinking outside the box, it gets a little scary and it gets a little hairy. Just remember, you don't have to listen to them and you don't have to listen to us. Use your discernment, do your homework, figure it out. It will set right within your heart and how you're lined up with the divine, because you are a partial smidgen of the divine. We are partial smidgens to each other. We have to figure out where we align with that. Don't let any chart, any picture, any words that come out of our mouths ever deter you from following your own path. We're not here to manipulate and trick you. We are here just to try to teach in our own version and what we feel that is right. So what you have already heard or what you're about to hear, this is your choice. Your choice. You have free will. Free will is about your own emotions and what sits right in your heart, in your soul, in your spirit. Okay? That's all I want to say. But absolutely, we will continue the topics. We may not do them in order. We may be bouncing all over the place, just like Revelation. We may touch back and forth, back and forth. When things get hairy, we don't run, but we do take a step back. Because the last thing we want to do is to give negative energy or to make you think that you're thinking wrong, because you're not. There, like we said at the beginning of this video today, there is no right or wrong. Your perception and how you perceive things is your own choice. That stands true to each of us individually and as a collective and as a round table. Everyone in the chat, everyone that is here, we are never always going to agree, except for one thing. I think we can all say that we agree that we have a divine light creator that's of the positive and pure love and good intention. I think we can agree on that. Now, where it goes outside that ripples into all these different subjects. We're not here to encourage you to lean one way or another. We're here to encourage you to expand your mind and your soul and your spirit. Education is everything. If you got offended today or you got set off by something we said or did, Don't take it personal. It's not intentionally done. We're just trying to get you to think. But I also will circle back. I hate that term. I will go back to what it has been said. Don't put us in a box. And if you think about it, the universal laws that we have now put us in a box. If we are of the divine creator who is not in a box, we shouldn't be beholden to these laws. As long as our intentions is pure and of the divine white light. That's all I'm going to say about that. At the end of the day, no matter where the subject goes, no matter where your questions lead, we will always promise to answer them as honestly as we can using spirit or our own intuition. We will answer your questions. No intention was of ill will. I think you already know that. And we will just keep educating ourselves. Maybe our delivery is wrong. We don't exactly rehearse this. So I agree. We take a step back. We understand our own individuality may not think the same way. That's okay. We're not supposed to. We're not cookie cutter souls. I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful that Nadia and I, in our twin brains, we don't always look and sound the same. We just don't. Rocco and I may butt heads. Dennis may throw up his hands at all of us and go, y'all drive me nuts. It's just this commonality that we have, but at the end of the day, we respect each other. And out of respect, we are going to back off of the subject of universal laws for now until Spirit gives us the thumbs up and the go ahead. So now, right now, we're looking at chakras, and that's just the 7 basic chakras. That's not going into the 12 and 24 and just like the rest of the universal laws. We'll start with the basics. If we get into the chakras, bear with us. We're going to do the best we can. That's open to interpretation too. The colors of the rainbow, the symbology that's behind it. Every teacher, every great master or shaman, or however you want to label them, is different. Just the same as we are. Keep an open mind. Learn. Do your own homework. And if it sits right, great. If it doesn't, that's okay. We don't take offense. But please, at the end of the day, understand that we are not here to offend you either. Okay? We hit some really raw subjects today. And it was hard. But it wasn't intentionally negative. I just want to tell you that. Okay? On that note, I will end it there on the serious stuff for tonight. Okay? That's all I got to say about that. I hope to see you on Dennis's show tomorrow, and then back here with the round table on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. It's okay? We'll just take it one thing at a time. If you have questions, we will answer them no matter what the subject. We are open-minded. We are not closing off altogether, but as far as the round table topic of discussion, we're just pausing. Okay? I hope you understand. Love and light. You don't need you already know better. I love you. So does the rest of the round table. Respectfully, good night.